keeping it P, cause it's all I know. Had to triple up my pockets and big up my goals.
What up, guys? Welcome to episode 1 of the Keepin It P podcast. So sporadic. You know, today we were talking about, hey, let's just do a podcast. We don't have a name, we don't have a theme, but we have a very special guest. So I was like, let's take the opportunity. Let's get to know each other. Let's just do it on camera. Let's put it on a podcast. Let's keep it P today.
I'm super
Let's do
down,
it,
man.
Right?
I'm gonna tell you guys right now watching, I was not expecting this podcast. Daniel was just like, let's go upstairs, let's film this podcast. And I'm like, I'm down, man.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
You know, I think the best decisions I've ever made in my life were the ones that I just went full throttle with. Podcast is something we've talked about for a while. Over the years, I've met a lot of cool people. I've worked with a lot of cool influencers like yourself. And, you know, I missed the opportunity. You know, I wish I can go back and see those moments where early stages of your career, because I know you're going to keep taking off, and I'm really, really happy for you. I'm glad we're doing a project. So people out there in the podcast world, Chris and I are doing a car together. But before we get started, let's kind of go back a little bit. Chris Gorgeous.
We're talking about this nickname before we got on this podcast. Gorgeous Borges. But
Yeah. So this is
Yeah,
the man.
man,
This is Chris himself.
yeah, I'm down to chop it up. You know, like I said before, I don't know. Like I've seen you around a lot. You know, just years ago, like 10 years ago probably. But we haven't really like sat down and chopped it up. So I'm excited to learn more about you, and hopefully you
bro.
learn more about me. You know.
I go deep, you know, conversations my day to day with the homies and people that I meet that are willing to chop it up. Like I go deep, you know, so I'd really like to know about you, and I'm sure the audience does as well. So tell me let's start with your age. How old are you?
27.
27.
27.
And you're building a YouTube career.
Yeah.
You still work a full-time job?
Yeah, full time and everything. I've been doing YouTube for, I was get stuck on this quick. I think like since 2018.
Okay.
2018, 2017. I got like a FRS, just completely stock. I just got that because I wanted like a cool manual car, you know. So I saw that like on I think it was like Car Gurus. I saw a nice blue one. I was like, you know, like I'm gonna pick this up. I want a manual car. I got it. I saw like TJ Hunt on YouTube. I was trying to find like mods and stuff, and I saw him, and I was like, dude, like I want a life like that. You know what I mean? Like he's doing all this cool stuff to his car, and I had the same car, so I was like, you know what? Like I'm just gonna pick up a camera and try it myself. You know, just have fun with it. You know, like
You ran with it. Just like you said earlier. Like you wanted to do it. The best thing you can do, and advice I give people all the time is, if you say you want to do it, you just go for it. You don't wait. There's no map. Nobody's gonna hold your hand.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that's what it was for you.
Yeah, like that's the thing I always kept in my mindset. Like if I don't try it, then it's just always gonna be like a no thing. You know what I mean? But if I try it at least once, then like it could potentially turn into something like bigger. You know?
What is it doing for you now? Where are you at, like subscriber wise?
Right now, I think I'm at like 116K.
Damn.
So I feel like it's been like slow and steady, you know. I've just been having fun with it. You know, there's obviously more people that, you know, grow faster, go slower. But I've just been having fun with it, you know, just
100K
cherishing
is a blessing.
it. Yeah.
100K is a blessing, bro. And one of the things that people don't understand with YouTube that I observe, and the reason why I was like, Chris and I got to do a project, and I want you to know this, is I look not only for following, but I look for engagement. So I look at, from a business perspective, if I'm going to work with somebody, what am I, you know, we're looking for eyeballs.
Yeah.
You know, and you're a good dude. I wanted to work with you for a long time, but also like your audience is very engaged with you.
Bro, a lot of people say that.
They are.
Like I've always been like, I guess it's different from my end because I'm so used to seeing like, you know, like comments and, you know, stuff like that as far as engagement. But I always hear people say that. I've always been curious, like, what makes you think that like my audience is like super engaging? You know what I mean?
They're commenting, bro. They're listening to you. You ask a question, they're giving answers, they're giving their feedback, they're engaging with your build. So as a business owner, from my perspective, if you guys don't know out there, we wrap vehicles, we customize vehicles. So if I'm going to work with somebody and we're going to do it on a sponsorship level, because this question comes in all the time, Daniel, will you sponsor me? Will you guys do this? You don't have to have a huge following. You happen to have a huge following, but not everybody has to have a huge following. But what they do need is true, real engagement.
Yeah, that's real.
You know?
Yeah. I feel like that's like the most important thing too, because it's like, or like as far as, you know, connecting with your audience, because I don't know, I feel like a lot of people have like a big head on their shoulders as far as like content creators and stuff, and some don't reply to their fans or, you know, like reply back to them, and that's like one of the first things I do when I post something. Like I like to respond to people, you know what I mean? Because I want to make people feel connected to me, you know? Like I don't want it to just be like, oh, he has a cool car, that's it, you know what I mean? Like I want to like relate to people and help people out as much as possible. So
I love that, bro.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why we're together. That's why we're doing this today. Because I saw that a long time ago. I've always wanted to work with you. And you've went to other shops and I was like, these fucking guys, bro. Just kidding. But, you know, at the same time, like I've always wanted an opportunity to work with you. And now we're in a place where we can. And I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like everything happens for a reason. And I feel like we're here in this moment for a reason. So
Yeah.
I'm excited, man.
So let's go back a little further. Like, you know, the way I want to go about this is, again, I told you guys, this is episode 1. We're doing it with my man, Chris Gorgeous himself. He's a beautiful man.
This guy.
Tell me about high school. Like, what was high school like for you?
So, man, I don't even know
Where'd you grow up?
So I grew up in San Diego, California. All my life. I lived there 27 years. Graduated high school in 2015. You know, it's pretty, I could just say like average, you know, like American life, you know, like, I don't even know, like, where to start.
Were you popular in high school? Were you like...
Nah, honestly, bro, like I was super like quiet. I had like a couple friends. I was never like that like jock or like popular kid, you know.
Yeah.
I was just like play video games like Call of Duty as a kid.
Yeah.
I love playing video games with my friends, you know, skateboarding. I love playing outside like when I was like younger.
What kind of music you into?
Like rap, hip hop.
Okay, cool.
Early 2000s, like
There you go.
R&B, you know, like
yeah.
bro, that's my stuff.
Hey,
like
that same, bro.
4 shots in, bro. I'll rap like a whole T-Pain song, like Usher, like.
He said 4 shots in. That's the second time he said it. He told me earlier. I said, hey, bro, can you dance? We did this off camera. And he's like, yeah, give me 4 shots. I got you, bro.
I'm a quiet guy, man, but I can have some fun, you know.
Yeah.
I don't condone drinking, but, you know.
Hey, man.
Special occasions, you know.
Yeah, special occasions. We
Yeah.
limit ourselves, you know. But so high school, grew up in San Diego, 26 years old.
So, graduated 2015. I wanted to join the military. This is before I kind of like, this is way before I started YouTube. Like, I was like, I'll just graduate high school. I don't really want to go to college because school wasn't really my thing. So I was like, you know, like, my last resort was kind of the military. You know, you hear it all the time, you know, join the military, benefits.
Especially San Diego. There's a lot of military activity in the area. Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't end up going to the military because I didn't really want to like leave like my family behind. Like I got a girlfriend and stuff.
Yeah.
So I just stayed behind and then didn't go to college. And that's when I started picking up a camera.
Okay.
I was like, you know what, like I'm fresh out of high school. I might as well like just try, you know, something new. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So started vlogging a little bit. Obviously YouTube takes time, you know, to kind of see progress. So, and I was just working like part-time stuff. I think my first job was at a grocery store.
Okay.
Like Vaughn's.
There
I
you
started
go.
in high school. I think it was a junior in high school. Vaughn's, did that for 2 years, and then I worked at a valet place at the same time.
Nice.
So
you're
I was
hustling.
always about like hustling, bro,
Yeah.
like making money.
So hustling to get to your first car. Like, what was the first car that you bought?
The FRS.
FRS was your first car that you bought.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And you're building a YouTube platform off of the first car that you bought.
Yeah.
And you probably got that car working those 2 jobs.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
That's
so
wild.
I did that. I started working at Pizza Hut, a delivery driver.
In the FRS?
I used to deliver in a wide body FRS. Not gonna lie, bro. It was the
Hey, that's
sickest
dope.
thing ever.
Yeah, that's dope.
But nah, man, I've always been like loving to work and like just working for like, you know, cool things, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I still work now. You know, I work full time now. I have like a career.
Okay.
So, you know, the part-time stuff is kind of not there anymore. But yeah, I've always been working aside from doing YouTube, you know?
Well, YouTube is a job. Like a lot of people think they're going to take on YouTube and they're going to blow up on YouTube overnight. But dude, it's hard. So
Yeah, it's
that
hard,
work
man.
ethic has to be pre-established. Because, you know, what was the first video that actually took off and how long did it take for a video to take off?
So my first video ever was like the randomest video ever.
Okay.
A lot of people think like, oh, I need to have like this crazy first video, like some super professional like thing that'll set it off.
It's true.
But my first video was literally like my friend bought a V6 Mustang and he had an exhaust.
Okay.
And we just installed it in a
There you go.
garage. It was like super random, like the most jankiest video ever. Like
That's
super
dope.
bad quality. Like I just wanted to start. That's the most important thing is just starting, bro.
It really is. It really
Yeah.
is. At the end of the day, like I said earlier, I don't know if it was on camera or not, but the biggest thing that I find is, especially with the younger generation, is they want this like roadmap. They come up and they're probably asking you the same thing. How do I do it, Chris? And they think you have all these answers when it's just hard work and
Dude,
getting
literally,
started.
Starting is the hardest
Grab a
part,
camera and
man.
go.
Yeah. Like the thing I always kept in my mind, it was just like experience is like the best teacher. Like
Absolutely.
there's no like magic answer. There's no like magic DM from like your favorite content creator that'll help
Yeah.
you, but it's just like experience teaches you the most, bro.
Yeah.
Like I was super scared starting the clothing brand, like, you know, Borges Supply.
Yeah.
I feel like I had it all figured out. Like I
Yeah.
had to know the ins and outs, the small, the big things. But I was like, you know what? I'm just start it, launch it. If something happens, I'll learn. You know, like
If
and
people
that's the
support
way.
you, bro, I've seen the logo around. I've seen people wearing it at car meets. So like, you're doing it right, but you didn't have to have all the information to
Yeah.
get started, and that's the biggest hurdle for most people.
It is, yeah.
So I'm glad that wasn't for you. I'm sure it was not easy. It's scary. You're spending
Mm-hmm.
your own personal money trying to get a logo and design and apparel. There's a lot
Yeah.
that goes into it, but look at it. I mean, like I said, I seen it organically out on the streets at a meet,
That's
and then
sick,
I got
man.
the man himself here in the building.
That makes
you
me
know?
stop. That makes me smile, man. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
There's gonna be a lot more, bro. I really see a lot for you coming in the future, really quick. You know, you're doing all the right things. I've worked with a lot of content creators.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you've probably seen me through TJ Hunt. You know, I did a lot with him back in the day, and I look at those times where we didn't know what we were doing either.
Yeah.
You know, we're building a YouTube channel. We're hanging out with TJ, who we admired, and I saw his career just take off, bro. And I see that same thing for you.
I remember like watching you guys like in that time period.
Yeah.
That was such a sick era, bro.
It
Like,
was.
I don't know. It's just like it's so nostalgic thinking about that.
Yeah,
Like,
dude. It really was.
simple
I feel the
days.
same. Yeah, man. But you know, I feel like just in these few minutes, and myself and the audience are getting to know you. If there's anything you can tell people that they don't know about you, or something you'd like to send to the world, what would it be?
Man,
That's an on the
that's
spot
honestly
question,
a
bro.
Tough question, bro. Honestly, but like one thing I really like keep in my heart is like, what's that one saying regarding time? Like tomorrow's never promised.
Yeah,
That's one. I don't know why that quote just like sticks with me so much. Like a lot of people, you know, may like doubt themselves, like think negative, not want to chase their dreams, like, you know, hold like something heavy in their heart. But it's just like, and what I think about is like tomorrow's never promised. Like I try to live every single day as if like tomorrow is like not even a thing. I feel like that really like brings out the best in you. Cause I feel like if you live in like autopilot mode and like you kind of live like expecting tomorrow is just gonna be like another day,
yeah,
you kind of don't really take advantage of your time. So I don't know. I love that quote so much because I feel like
I do
it
too,
makes you
bro.
productive and
Yeah.
like if like because in reality like if tomorrow was never there, you would live today like the best day ever. You know what I mean?
there's a
Like,
word that correlates to it, and I also have the same belief as you, but I say live with urgency. Like you want to act and move like if it's urgent, you know, like if you need to
Yeah.
get to the other side of this building, walk with passion, even if you know you're just walking across the building, you know,
Yeah.
but like get a move on it. Like tomorrow's not promised, you know, live urgently. You got a task to go do, go get it done. You need to come out to Irvine from San Diego and take a 2-hour drive to come see us and shoot a podcast
Get it
randomly.
done, yeah.
Get it done, you
Yeah.
know, and that's exactly how I live, and that's why we're sitting here at this podcast right now, because
Yeah.
we set it up. I was like, put the logo up and let's just do it. Let's live urgently.
Off
I
the
want to
rip,
know about
yeah.
you. We're doing a cool project together, regardless if I got to know you or not. I was excited to do it, but
Yeah.
now like I get to know you on a deeper level.
Yeah, for
So
sure, yeah.
it's exciting, bro.
That's how good moments are made right there.
Yeah, this so far has been great. You know?
I
And
know.
I told you, I was like, I'm not going to take too much of your time, Chris. This is unexpected. I literally I was like, bro, come upstairs. We're going to shoot a podcast. And he agreed. He lives with urgency. So
Yeah.
made it happen. I'm glad that we're doing it. What I think we should do is we should wrap this car. We should do more projects together and just keep watching your career evolve. And we want to be a part of it. You know?
I want you guys to be a part of it too. You know, just there's so many like different ideas out there. You know, different things to do as far as content, like collaboration. So it's like I'm all here for it. You know,
Yeah.
Aside from like car stuff, like I want to get to know you guys. Like on a personal level, and
Yeah.
who knows where
appreciate
it'll go.
that.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
there's
we're homies
so many
already, bro.
possibilities.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, but I want to ask you, man. Like, I guess what would you like send out to the viewers? Like
That's a good one.
you're a big
that.
businessman. You've been in the game for a long time, so it's like, what piece of advice do you have for
You about to get
any
me going.
any life advice, bro? Just yap about it.
I say this as men, a lot of men are going to watch. And I'm not saying we're eliminating females from watching this, but as men, we're men up here, we're going to fuck up. There's a ton of times where we're going to make mistakes, but you got to always pick up the pieces and keep moving. So me personally, as a 36-year-old, I'm almost 10 years older than you. I am 10 years older than you. Yeah,
9.
So 9 years older than Chris, I made a ton of mistakes, man. And there was so many things that could have stopped me from even being right here in this moment. And I'm talking deep. I'm talking like down to almost suicidal, bro.
Really?
You know, so it's deep. I've got to places in my life where, you know, I made a lot of money. I had my family. I had a very beautiful home. I had multiple vehicles, and it all went to shit. So I went through
Really?
divorce. I went through a lot of traumatic things that I hear from a lot of men now. They're like, oh, well, I went through a divorce and I never got out of it. It happens, bro. You know, so for me, I find it that I'd like to tell people is that, dude, we all go through stuff, and there's a bunch of setbacks in life, and it's inevitable.
Yeah.
You know, life is almost set up that way because now that I've kind of got through my process and I've learned a lot of hard lessons, I appreciate them, bro. Like, you know, life doesn't happen to you; it happens for you.
Dude, oh my! It's funny how you say that because
Okay.
that's one of the quotes I love so much.
Yeah, bro, and I believe it, and I
That
know
is
you do.
such a real quote, bro. I love that quote so much.
So if you believe that and you hear that, anybody listening, you know, life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you.
For you.
All the stuff that we went through,
That's
it was meant to teach you a lesson, to evolve and grow and become, you know, and even where we're sitting right now, if I would have stayed in the dumps where I was 4 years ago, because that was like a big thing for my YouTube side of things, and my business took a big hit because I was sitting in my moment like, man, Daniel, you fucked up, bro. Like, you don't deserve anything good, you know? So it took a long time to get out of that.
what would
And
you say that helped you the most as far as getting out of whatever?
I got
negative
right with God,
situation?
bro. You know, that's a big thing for me. And a lot of people don't get on camera and say that.
You're
but
Christian?
I'm Christian.
I am too.
Got baptized, bro, and my life changed. Literally the day that I got baptized, and I have a story that I think only you know, but I had got an apartment shortly after my divorce. I signed the paperwork, was ready to move in, paid the deposit, but I couldn't do it because like the divorce became real. You know what I mean? Like the moment you move in, it's like, oh shit, like I'm moving in on my own.
You're by yourself.
So I had this I had this apartment for 2 months, bro, and I'm going through my walk with Christ. I'm sitting there trying to figure things out. I met the right people, got into church, got baptized. But even through those 2 months where I was doing all that, I couldn't open the door to this apartment. Even though I had the keys, couldn't do it. Like I knew that it became real. So
Wow.
I got baptized. It was on a Sunday. It was the most beautiful day of my life. And then, I get in the car and I was like, you know what? I got this key in my pocket. I got this apartment. And it was like, God was just like, bro, like it's time to do this. So that's what I did. And then from there, I never looked back. I saw God working in my life and it just changed. Everything changed. Like every obstacle became an opportunity.
God is good, man.
Yeah,
that's
bro.
funny how you mentioned that because like I never would have known. Like,
Yeah.
you know, people don't really talk about this, you know, like off the rip often, you know, as far
Yeah.
as, you know, like faith and stuff. But I feel like learning that from you, that made me appreciate you even more. You know what I mean? Because like,
Yeah.
you know, as a Christian myself, you know what I mean? Like it's good to hear that, like, you know,
I respect
you're
that.
in
And I
that. You know what I mean? Like
appreciate
I don't know, that's awesome, bro.
Yeah, thank
I
you.
would have
man.
never
Well,
known, man.
Thank you for flipping the question on me. You know, like you might have to be the co-host of the channel, bro, because a lot of people don't do that. You know, and you do
Yeah.
really, really good. But you know, again, to reiterate to the audience, but for me personally, it was just accountability, and that came through like getting right with God. God's like, look, I gave you all these opportunities. You did fuck them up, but you're still deserving of opportunity moving forward. But you got to get right.
Yeah.
And I did that, you know, and it really changed my life. And I'm proud and I'm happy, dude. I really, really am. So
awesome, man.
I learned a lot of hard lessons, though.
Wow. It's crazy how much you
Yeah.
can learn about someone in like 5 minutes, you know?
Crazy, right?
Yeah. That's
Yeah. I think, to be honest with you, man, like I don't think we can get any more deeper than that. What do you think?
No, I didn't even talk about that. Whoa. All right.
It's intense, bro.
Yeah.
But, you know,
That's
I'm
cool,
glad to
man.
hear that you're on your walk as well.
Yeah, you know, I've had my ups and downs, you know, as far as, you know, walking in faith. You know, it's not perfect, but
Absolutely.
no, definitely like I feel like, you know, like I said, everything happens for a reason. Like I was never like really a religious person. For some reason, like I had like a super negative mindset when I was like a little kid.
Okay.
I don't know why. I don't
Towards
know.
religion or just in general?
No, just like in general, bro. Like in life, like
Yeah.
I was just like whatever. Like I didn't really have any like motivation or like reason to like want to do things. Like
There
I'll
had
just
to be
be stuck
something
in
that
my
changed
room.
it, though. There had to have been something.
Yeah, so my sister would always like, hey, like come to church, like, you know, just come with me. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'd always be like, nah, like church wasn't really my thing, you know, like I believed, but like I didn't really see myself going to church, you know?
Yeah.
But one time I just decided to go, And that's the one thing that's crazy because I feel like obviously that happened for a reason. Like
100%.
that wasn't me making me go. Like that was obviously God making me go.
Yeah.
Because I always rejected it. You know what I mean? But that one night I was just like, oh, I'll go. And then I will never forget, like, you know how they pray for you, like, oh, if this is your first time, like,
bro,
Jesus is your Lord and Savior.
It's intense.
I raised my hand.
Yeah.
And like I just like broke down, bro. Like
I'm trying to keep it together right now because I know the feeling.
Like it's like if you have never like experienced this before, like it's like a different type of like experience. Like I remember like I forgot who it was like a pastor. Like he just like had his hand on me, and I just like broke down, bro.
Yeah.
Like I don't know why.
Yeah.
But like you could just feel this like this like supernatural thing.
Somebody explained it to me, and the pastor's he's not God, but he's a vessel.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you were being communicated by God. You know, in that moment, you were connecting.
Yeah,
and it was through that pastor who took the time to come over to you, put his hand on you, and pray for you. Like that's probably the best thing anybody can do for you.
Yeah, it's one of those experiences you can't really like explain. But like, ever since then, I just feel like all that negativity just like goes away. Like it kind of gave me like a purpose to like think better about life. You know what I mean? Like I said, I was super negative. And just after that moment, it was just like it changed my whole outlook on life.
That's amazing.
So
bro.
ever since then, you know, like I've been, you know, ups and downs as far as faith, but I've always had like God in the back of my mind, and like I always give him like thanks for like every single thing that happens in my life, good or bad. You know, just like opportunities like this, like stuff like this. I used to pray for like 10 years ago before I had a YouTube channel. Like, oh, I want to be with like the big dogs. You know, I want to work with these people.
Yeah.
So like I don't know, just like in this moment, like sitting here with you, like talking about it, it's just like another reason to be like thankful and like give him grace for it. So
man,
that's awesome, man. Yeah.
This is wild. But I feel like it's a really good connecting moment. Mm-hmm. You know, whether or not this content goes out, everybody already sees it. I'm just happy that we have it.
Yeah, I mean, podcast aside, like it's
because it's crazy, bro. It's crazy, and I'm really glad to hear about your faith as well, man. And you know, we're all imperfect humans. Mm-hmm. It's up to us to acknowledge that, and then try to be our best every single day. Yeah. Live with urgency. We talked about that, and walk in faith. You know. So those are all big pointers that I would love to give out, and I think we did it organically. Yeah. Because we're speaking the truth.
We're not planning this.
This is not planned, you know, but this is our truth, both of us. And I can see that, and I can feel that in how your testimony. So it's amazing, bro.
Yeah. I'm excited to, you know, talk more about it, you know, other times or whatever, you know, just randomly. But yeah, it's crazy. I never would have known, man.
Podcast 1 in the books. Chris, give them your IG, give them your YouTube. Where can people find you?
Instagram and YouTube. You know, I don't have TikTok or anything.
Okay.
Chris Borges on everything. ChrisBorges.
Dope.
Yeah, man.
Let's run it. Let's do it again. Let's put this out, and I'm sure people are gonna ask for episode 2 with you and I, so we'll make it happen.
Super down. We'll talk more about some juicy stuff.
All right. Let's keep it P another day, guys.
All right, guys.
We'll see you guys in the next one.
I'm keeping it P, cause it's all I know. Had to triple up my pockets and bigger my goals.